Hello! In this tip, we're going to talk about Copilot for Copilot Studio makers. I'm sure you know this already, but I'm going to share some tips on how you can use the embedded Copilot to learn brand new things. Okay? So, not just about creating things, but also about learning things. So, let's run into Copilot Studio and take a look at this embedded Copilot for topics, is what we're going to talk about today. Yes, we're going to pin this. I'm going to hide this. Okay, so we're in the topic tab of this Copilot, and I'm going to add a new topic. Now, before I do that, you all might recall lesson 1, 2, and 3 from PVA. This is a very historical thing, and these were here to help you learn. But now that we've infused AI into Copilot Studio, you have many more opportunities to learn how to be a master at creating Copilots. So I want to start by adding a topic, but I want to use create from description with Copilot. This is the maker Copilot and not the Copilot for the end user. Okay? Now, I am not going to type anything up here. I want to draw your attention to the bottom of this dialog box because this is where all the goodness lies. And you'll see some examples, but I want you to click View More Examples and browse them all. But I'm going to show you how using these suggestions can save you a lot of time, even if they're not exactly what you need. All right? Now, I'm going to look at a couple of these here. Now, these three are very different, right? So I clicked View More Examples to see the next set. And there's let the user check the status of a flight. Add 3 multiple choice questions about the state of Washington, right? The questions should not be able to be interrupted. So notice how this prompt here that is a suggestion even will set configuration. So you know that in questions, you have the option to say can be interrupted or cannot be interrupted. Here, the prompt is telling it to set that configuration as not to be interrupted. So these can even uncheck and check parameters in your Copilot. Let's try this one. Create a support ticket, including a title, severity, and description, and then add an email to send an update. I'm going to use this one because you can convert this to being any situation where someone's reporting something, okay? It could be an inspection report. It could be a support ticket. It could be an item up for bid at the next campaign for items up for bid. It could be anything you want where there's going to be a title, a description, some type of classification, and you're going to need their email. So kind of think out of the box with these. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to just give it the name of support because that's the point of this particular example. But again, you can modify these very easily. Now, as this creates, I want you to know that we're going to see some error messages right away. Now, let me explain why. So it's creating a set of questions, and over here on the right, it's telling us that it's created 4 questions and 1 send activity, which is another word for that is sending a message, okay? So in all these cases, there's a variable needed. Copilot will not decide what you want to call your variables, and so it just reminds you you need to set a variable for this thing. And so I'm going to do that really quick here, just as an example, so you can see the red go away. So first I'll close this, even though this is helpful to extend this further and further. You know what I mean? And again, don't hesitate to click the mores, right? So in the other dialogue, we had view more examples. In this one, this isn't what I'm looking for, would lead to other examples, all right? Try them out, all right? I'm going to close this, and I'm just going to click on select a variable, and what I will do is click create new, and it'll make one. Now, I'm not going to rename it. You know how to do that. I'm going to do that for all of these. I'm just clicking create a variable in every case. And as the red goes away, I go to the next one. And I'm staying in order because I'm not renaming them. So I'm making sure that it's in the order of the questions. And then I'm creating a new variable. And now I have no. Now, those variables need to be used in the message to summarize what information has been provided by the end user. And you can see in this summary, these variables don't exist. You know, those formulas don't exist because we just created the variables, right? So what we can do, let's go ahead and use the code editor for this. I think this is the fastest, easiest way to do this. So I'm going to open the code editor, scroll down to the send activity, and all I'm going to do is in these brackets, what I want is topic.var1. Now, you do want the brackets. So let's say you make a mistake and you forget. I hope you can see well. I'll just zoom in here. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, so you can see if I delete this and type topic var2, that is not a variable. It's not going to be seen as one. But if you highlight it and then hit shift open bracket, it will enclose it in brackets and make it a variable. So now that's a tip in itself, right? We're going to do var3, and I'm just doing it in the order that I did it. You would put the actual variable names there. And if you want to use the messaging card as a suggestion as what you should name the variables, if you have problems being creative about what your variable should be called, use the suggestions that are provided, right? So I think they were prefixed with ticket. Let's just undo here. I'm Control Z. You see how it has ticket.email address? Whatever's after ticket is what you could use for your variables if you want to. If you want to be creative, if you don't want to be creative today, leverage the suggestion that is there. All right. So I'm going to put that back and make it topic var4. Topic.var4. So here, very quickly within the code editor, I was able to make sure that my variables are right. Now, I know for a fact that the Copilot is very logical, so it's going to summarize what the user said in the order that it asked the questions. And that's why it was very easy for me just to keep it going 1, 2, 3, 4. But I don't think that's what you should do. You should give it a good name. All right? And then I'm going to hit save. There should be no more red anywhere. And then I'm going to refresh this. Now, this is a support topic, and even your phrases were done by the Copilot. You didn't have to sit there and figure out what should the phrases be. You can always edit and add more, but I like that it kind of does that for you too. So here I'm going to say I need support, right? Now notice that doesn't exist here in this list, but it's the same line of thought. So the Copilot's not stupid. It's going to get you the right topic, all right? Because it's the same line of thought as these phrases, right? And the phrase, and the word support is in the sentence as well. Okay, so let's give it a title. Keyboard replacement needed. Okay, and then please select the severity. This is high. Okay, now describe the situation. My keyboard, my keys on the keyboard are consistently sticking, and I can no longer type email. Okay, so that's high priority. All right, please provide an email address. I think this is, we'll just give a person@email.com. And of course, if you were doing this demo in real life and you wanted to carry it through, you would use a real email address. Otherwise, whatever workflow you have that follows up to that person would fail because that email doesn't exist. Okay, but notice how it summarized what I did properly with the variable values instantly. So this is a really cool feature, but I want to show you something else. So first of all, it helped us learn a little bit about variables. It helped us understand multiple choice options. It helped us understand summaries and how to use variables in messages. So it was kind of educational as well. So now I'm going to go back to topics. So we just worked on the support topic, but I just want to look at that list of suggestions one more time and just point out a few things in here. I think I've already pointed out that you have user's name, age, and date of birth. This is a great example of how we use entities, so system entities that are built in, meaning you don't need to have or make your own entities. Then if I click once, there's the one we did, but there's also one here, 3 multiple choice questions about something, right? In this case, it's typed Washington, but pick a different thing and you can create a poll scenario. And please note that if you ever type in your prompt, which is in this second box, that questions should not be able to be interrupted. That's going to change the configuration of the question nodes so that not interrupted will be, so that it is allowed to be interrupted will be checked. Okay, keep that in mind. And then I believe there's 3, maybe even 4 clicks where you can see some other things. But I wanted to talk to you just briefly before I close this tip about those topic phrases that we were looking at, that our Copilot built for us. Did you know you could use ChatGPT to generate a list of topic phrases that you could copy and paste into your code view? Let me show you how that works. Okay, so I'm going to change tabs here and just go straight to ChatGPT. There is a way to share your prompts, and so I'm looking at a shared prompt, but you can try this. And notice that I'm saying I'm creating a chatbot to open a support request. Please suggest some training data for the intent. So basically what we are making a list of are those phrases. So here, the Copilot did that for us. But let's say we want to, kick it up a notch and refine it a little bit. We can just go to ChatGPT and ask for a list of intent. And if you want to go a step further, you can copy this and then you can just paste this into the code view. You can also go down here and ask it to go further to actually give it a format for our YAML and then have it write the YAML for you, right? Here the prompt was, help me generate 10 other topics like the one below, making sure they don't overlap as I don't want ambiguity. So let me just explain this sentence, why this prompt includes this. So if you've got 2 topics and one topic is buy a book and another topic is write a book, right? Right away, the topics have overlapping words in the title. So you need to be very careful with the phrases of those topics to make sure that it's not confusing which topic to launch. And so this is a great example of why you might use ChatGPT to help you determine what are the phrases I need in these topics so that they don't overlap, right? And so that the AI is not confused on which topic to launch. And I'll put this prompt here into the description of the video below so you can check it out. But then it actually generated 10 different related topics using just that section on the trigger queries or the phrases for you. And you'll find there are no overlaps between these different topics. So this is where you can leverage all of AI to help you optimize your experience. Check it out, give it a try. Let me know in the description if you tried any of these tips. So first of all, using the Copilot to create topics. Second of all, playing around with the examples to see if the examples in that experience for creating topics actually taught you something new and different. And remember, you can click on view more examples at least a couple of times to see more. And then thirdly, have you taken an example and then revised it so that you just took the text and then you said, okay, instead of severity, I want priority. And instead of high, medium, low, I want urgent, normal, and low. And maybe it's not a support ticket, maybe it's an incident ticket. And so you're actually leveraging the suggestions to help you write your prompts. All right. And then the third thing we did is we actually used the code view to add our variables in, because we learned that Copilot is not going to give us any new variables. It's not going to decide what our variable name should be. So remember that you'll have to go in and replace the red variables with real variables. And then we use the code editor to actually update the message node, which had the wrong variable names, okay? And remember, you can still use those names if you want to use them. Just go into those areas where those variables exist. And then the last thing we did together, this is a multifaceted tip, is using ChatGPT to generate ideas for trigger queries or phrases, making sure that your intent doesn't overlap and then confuse the AI so that it doesn't know which the right topic for the right subject. Very important for success. So I hope these tips helped you with building your own topics, and I'll be talking to you soon.